Hey guys, so this is my month 5 update for my Race to 1000 case study where I'm comparing a fully affiliate site and a fully informational site that's going to be monetized by Ezoic to see whether Amazon affiliates or Ezoic is going to do better between these two websites. It gives me a chance to break down different approaches that I have for each of the sites and just to see how the revenue is going to grow between the two sites. So, in this video, I'm going to outline traffic impressions of my two websites in month 5, so it's just reached the end of month 5. How much content I have added in the past month, and what happened with the indexing issues. So if you're following me in month 4, I had huge indexing issues. So I'll start with that indexing issue, what has happened since then. So a couple of people left comments, which I really appreciated on my last month's month 4 report on this case study, providing some advice on how to make sure that my articles are being indexed because I'm having indexing issues with both of my websites. So Ansar said, have you checked the Whois history of the domain to see whether it was an expired domain? I have checked it. It doesn't appear that it's an expired domain. Sean said, check Wayback Machine to see if it's ever been used before. I have done that as well. Doesn't seem to be an issue. It seems to have never been used before. Sean also recommended to check in WordPress whether the discourage search engines from indexing site tick box is selected. Check that, it's not selected for either of them. So there are a couple of indexing issues that I tried to work through, make sure that my site can be indexed. I also checked my robot.txt, it was fine. Lemons Understand Me said, just wait it out and see what happens. I think it's pretty good advice. I have been waiting it out and it seems like at least one of the sites is getting a little bit better. And the last thing I tried was the quick indexing with the video sitemap trick, which if you Google that, you'll find Matt Diggity's article on it. Essentially, you download a plugin that creates a video sitemap for your website and you put a video on every single one of your articles, submit the video sitemap, and then through that method, you can index pages on your website. So I tried that out as well. I'm not sure if it had much of an effect, to be honest, but there's some things that you can try if you're having trouble with indexing. So let's get to it. Website number 1, the affiliate site, the one that seems to be dead in the water. Look at this amazing SERP robot report. I have 0 articles in the top 3, top 10, top 30, or even top 100 at the end of month 5. So there's nothing here. It's dead. This website has shown no signs of life whatsoever. It's ridiculous. You can see here on the side here, the Google Search Console, there have been a couple of clicks and a little bit of impressions. Seemingly there's this one article that Google has kind of put into the index like very sporadically every now and then. Apart from that, I don't know what's going on. I've got a bunch of these ones that are crawled, currently not indexed as well. So troubles are still happening with this website. And we've got 57 articles on the site now. I added 5 very low competition articles. So a lot of people recommended, I probably should have left them in the screenshots above as well, try to get super low competition articles for a few quick wins. So I found articles that had 10 search volume or 20 search volume, and literally the pages that were ranking number 1 for those articles were 200 words long. So these were things that are just absolute, anyone with any website should be able to rank for those articles. They were the lowest competition articles I could possibly find in the niche. Still nothing. Still absolutely nothing. So no signs of life about this website, and I am still confused as heck. So what's next? I've still got those 6 guest posts coming. I am using Diggity's sandbox link building method. I'm sure you'll be able to find some information about that if you look up Matt Diggity's website. It's essentially a method for doing link building while you're in the sandbox to make it still look pretty natural. It has to do with sending out things like social signals to try to give the sense that there's traffic coming to the website and therefore it's justifying guest post. Whether or not you believe it or not, it's beside the point. I'm just trying things at the moment because this site's dead, so I may as well try things. So I've still got those 6 guest posts coming from my outreach guy. But apart from that, this one's on ice. I'm not going to invest any more money into it unless I see signs of life. And if within, if I pass 12 months and still nothing has happened to this website, I'll break it down into a bunch of micro niches, I think. So each of the silos on the site, I'll just pull them out, put them on new websites, on new domains that'll be sort of partial match domains, and do a little bit of a case study on that, because looking to me as if the Amazon affiliate site, after 5 months, still looking pretty sick as far as I'm concerned, even though, we know it's still in the sandbox, but it's not looking healthy at all. So website number 2, this looks bad as well, but I'm pretty positive about this regardless. Up until the December the 3rd, December the 4th, broad core update from Google, I had 22 in the top 100 here, and I had several in the top 3. So I did get a hit by that, the core update, unfortunately, but that's all right. It's not a big deal because it's a really new site. I've still got a lot of content to add and a lot of time to go before I expect to see it ranking the way that I would want it to rank anyway. So I'm not too worried about that. I'm not stressed out about it at all. So let's look at the traffic. This one's looking a lot nicer. You can see in month 5, it started to show up some signs of life up here. 1,360 clicks according to Google Search Console. Pretty decent click-through rate as well for a new site. You can see that for the other website, they had discovered crawled currently not indexed, which means that Google has crawled the pages and it's just decided not to index pages. For this one, it's got discovered currently not indexed, meaning Google hasn't crawled these pages yet. So I'm expecting that these 9 pages that haven't been crawled yet will come into the index at some point when Google gets around to crawling these pages. So I think that the indexing problems are going to start going away for the second website. So I added 28 articles to this site this month, and then in month 6, I'm probably going to add somewhere close to another 30 or 40 articles as well. So I'm going pretty hard on this one. Disappointed about that December 2020 update. You can see that drop here. It kind of tanked down to maybe, I think it was about 20 or 30 clicks or page views the day after the update, and it's only a couple of days after the update. I'm expecting it to start recovering anyway, because articles are going to start aging in and they'll start getting a bit more, getting a bit higher in the ranking. So it's a small setback, but not a big deal. So metrics are not amazing, but I think that things will turn around for this site, and I do think that within 12 months, this site's going to be making some good money. So I'm not stressed out about the second website, which is going to be monetized entirely through Ezoic. So what's next? Go very hard with new content. Just mentioned I'm going to put Ezoic on the site. I'm going to try to put it on autopilot. So I've got a couple of content writing services writing a bit of content for me. I've been using Buy Sell Text a little bit. I've got some private guys who are writing some articles for me. And I used Clever Ghost, which was recommended by John Dykstra. And I'm still trying them out. We'll see how it goes. I'm going to give it a couple of months. So just adding a ton of content. So website number 2, I'll just quickly talk about this because I think I'm going to put Ezoic on this website this month. So my expectations from Ezoic. I've got enough data now to show that about 65% of my traffic is coming from tier 1 countries. So if you look at my, I'll try to put them up actually right in front of me here. My top countries are the United States, United Kingdom, Canada, and Australia. And I think Philippines is in there as well. But United States, Canada, UK, Australia, they all do have really good EPMV usually. So for this new site, it's about 65% of my traffic's coming from high EPMV or tier 1 countries, whereas my biggest website has only got 45%. So going from that, I'm assuming, and this is a lot of assumptions because there are different niches and things, that my EPMV will be more than $7.75, because for the website with only 45% tier 1 traffic, it's $7.75. So I think for this new one, the EPMV should be somewhere closer to $9 or $10. That's when I'm using premium. I'm on 5-star premium. So both of the niches are not very buyer intent niches. It's just people, the companies that advertise on them are just generic companies, really. So I think that the EPMV should be comparable, except that because I've got more tier 1 traffic, I should have a higher EPMV. So I'll be able to tell you next month whether or not that's come to pass. So I am on 5-star premium. So that increases my EPMV by about 23%. So my EPMV for this first site was around about $4 or $5 before I put premium on it, and it's grown because I've got Ezoic Premium. And I'll be able to put Ezoic Premium on the second site straight away, and I don't need to pay more because I'm already paying for Ezoic Premium. So I'm pretty happy about that. We'll see what happens when I put Ezoic on that site. I hope that made sense in that explanation of my estimated EPMV, or income per 1,000 visitors. Okay, so key takeaways. Things aren't fantastic still, but I do believe that I can get that info site really running well eventually, hopefully get up there in 100,000 visitors a month at some point. This sandbox effect that I'm experiencing, it could continue up to the 8th month, so I've still got 3 months at least before I really start to know what's going on, and I'm not going to pass too much judgment on either of the sites. I'm going to give them their due diligence and at least see up until month 8 whether or not they jump out of the sandbox. But if that Amazon affiliate site shows no signs of life, by 12 months, I'll break them up and do some micro niches, and I'll do some case studies on that breaking up of those sites. And so a little bit of news, because I've stopped working on the Amazon affiliate site, I've put that on ice at the moment. I'm just going to let it sit there and see if it ever pops. I'm going to start a new site because I always want to be working on 2 sites at once and building out 2 that are sort of my young sites. So on January the 1st, I'm going to be doing part of Amelia Gardner's doing it as well. We're both going to start out new websites on January 1 and see if we can build them out. And for that new site, I'm going to target YouTube, Pinterest, and Google traffic to try to diversify that website as much as possible, so I'm not as reliant on Google. And I've also got a few private affiliate networks that I'm working on for that one. So that's going to be a really exciting challenge for next year. But at the moment, month 5 update, as things are looking, it's going to be that info site that's the one from these 2 sites that are going to be generating the money, I think. So let me know what you think in the discussion, and yeah, thanks for watching again, and I'll see you next month to see whether or not I get any progress from these 2 sites.